All right, I think we can get started. So thank you all for joining. Great to see some of our existing partners, some of new partners joining this webinar. This is a partner-only session that we have launched, and we will do several of these probably every month. We have been working with several partners. Technology has been, continuously developing, and we are innovating on new features. Some great success with some of the biggest Fortune 500 customers that we would like to share as part of these webinars, the success with those customers. But most importantly, we want to make sure that there is a channel, there is a webinar series where we can provide a new up-to-date information to our partners. Um, my name is Numan Mustafa. I run the business development for Aviatrix, which also includes relationship with our partners, including all the SIs, MSPs, managed operations partner, consulting partners, and all the CSPs, right? So great to be here. Presenting this along with me is Shazad Ali, who is also part of our partner team, focused most on solutions architecture. We both are sort of solutions architecture by trade, and I think this is what the cloud world needs. Very happy to be working with several partners in the last 3 4 months. We are seeing a flurry of partners across the world interested in incorporating Aviatrix as part of their portfolio, which is great to see because this is what customers are demanding them. And all of our partners, they are doing their own research as well in terms of why solutions like Aviatrix is important for their customers who are moving to the cloud at a very rapid pace and taking their business critical applications to the cloud. We also have John Gonzalez, Principal Evangelist, Brad Headland, Senior Solutions Architect, very well known in the industry, and Saad Mirza, who is also a leader in the solution architecture team, available for answering any questions. Um, so let's start. So what we are going to cover today, right, is probably is going to be a repeat for several partners who have been familiar with Aviatrix, who have been working with Aviatrix, and obviously there are active projects that they are working on. But there may be also new partners that we want to make sure that we get a level set in terms of the technology introduction. Tell them some new stuff that we are working on in terms of security, embedded security, and edge. We will have follow-up sessions where we will focus on deep dives. This one is going to be more generic in nature, but the idea is also to have you guys have a contact with the partner team at Aviatrix that you can discuss opportunities, bounce ideas, ask questions, remove any clarifications that you may need. So overall, um, the session objectives is obviously to tell you about the trends that we are seeing and some of the immediate goals for this session, as well as obviously, you get to know about the partner team at Aviatrix that you can reach out to. So what we are seeing is, as I mentioned earlier, right, is business critical applications are moving to the cloud, right? So early on, it was more customers were trying with some non business critical applications, but now we are seeing applications like SAP S4 HANA, payment applications, financial applications, applications where the entire business runs on are moving to the cloud, and obviously that elevates the need for networking, enterprise grade networking, security, and the focus is also is on resiliency and how can we optimize cost. This is where we are seeing two or three ways where Aviatrix solution is becoming very prominent. Number one is where customers themselves are pushing the trusted partners to have solutions like Aviatrix Incorporated, and you guys all have seen that. Also, I mean, obviously, a lot of partners are proactive and innovative in their own research, and they're finding out that when applications move to the cloud, and obviously multi-cloud being the new normal, you need to have a unified, consistent architecture and software platform that can help customers not only deploy this in day one, but manage it in a very simple, secure manner in day two as well. So they're looking for those modern cloud software solutions within the cloud, whether it's one cloud, multiple regions, or multiple cloud. That's where Aviatrix is becoming very prominent. Aviatrix also has a partner first approach because this is the only way for us to scale globally, right? We have a very good success now across the globe with major enterprises. But in order for us to scale, partners becomes our primary source, which is not new. Everybody knows that. So big partners give us the trust that we need with their customers, and we bring in the quality support, quality product, quality innovation, and all the experience that we have gained over the past 7 to 8 years working with cloud first customers or cloud smart customers. Also, we want to leverage the power of three, which is extremely valuable in some cases where we work with a partner and then we work with AWS and Azure and GCP, and in the marketplaces we have certain solutions that we can also spin up, which gets a lot of traction, and a lot of people who comes to the marketplaces see the solution, and then that gets the 10x impact for the joint solution. So that's something that we have seen with several vendors. We can discuss one on one if you have some smart ideas. We do have some smart ideas on how we can accelerate and 10x this motion. We can work on it on the side as well. Now, what is immediate goal? Immediate goal, obviously, you guys are familiar with Aviatrix. Shazad, after this session, my slides, he will present again an overview of Aviatrix, some of the key features and key go-to-market approaches that can help you get started very quickly. But we all know that cloud motion is land and expand, right? So it's about how do you land the customer with a use case, with a pain, and then from there you expand, right? This is how the cloud motion works. So identifying what are the quick pain points and use cases is very important, and this is where we will cover some of the key use cases which you can look for and help out your customers with getting things landed and making it part of your overall solution motion. We'll also talk about how can you register the leads, and how can we work together to do joint co-selling. And obviously, with Aviatrix, a partner can have a full life cycle of opportunities in terms of solution selling. Aviatrix is that leader in the cloud networking security space. Obviously, when you are offering your solution, it becomes part of your overall digital transformational portfolio to the customer. But then you also have opportunity in professional services once your team gets trained. Managed services is a big play within the cloud, right? So that's basically is where a lot of customers or a lot of partners are leveraging Aviatrix, that force multiplier platform that can help their operations team manage the customer's deployment very easily, and with superior SLAs and security. And also you can also have manage operations as well. In terms of Aviatrix, we obviously, for people who are new, we have been around for 6, 7 years now. The leader in the cloud networking security space, provide embedded security, resiliency, agility, and cost optimization. You will get to know how. We have major enterprises now, won a lot of awards. Our support is one of the best in the business when it comes to cloud. We have a very strong balance sheet now and cash position, even in this tough times when people are trying to save a lot of money. We are in a very, very good position. A certified engineering program has been extremely impactful for partners. We have about 20,000, 24,000 plus people who are certified now, and some of the partners actually have more than 2,000 people certified with ACE, right? So this is something that all the partners should leverage. Top recognitions, a lot of awards we have won. I'm not going to go with each one of them, but that's basically is just to show you the stability, the reputation that we have in the industry now. And the most important part is, we have customers, the big brands in all the verticals. So we are not restricted to just one vertical. Anybody who's moving to the cloud and taking their mission critical applications, Aviatrix is an excellent choice for those customers. And I'm sure that you must recognize many of these customer logos that you work with. We have a complete, almost an encyclopedia of customer sentiments and customer positive feedback. You can see 3 or 4 here, but we can share with other customer case studies as well. It's on our website as well. But Informatica, Aviatrix hide all complexities, which has reduced the customer onboarding times by week, or whether it's basically how to make your networking rock solid, like Lumen Digital, through our Aviatrix backbone and Aviatrix Transit. Adobe, a repeatable multi-cloud architecture, doesn't exist outside of Aviatrix. Spencer Nelson from Adobe, Workfront, And then Raytheon technology, there's nothing that comes close to Aviatrix bandwidth for encrypted traffic. So whether it's performance, whether it's security, whether it's repeatability, we have customers who are loving Aviatrix product and need that agility from the platform. I'll take a pause here. Shazad is now going to cover Aviatrix solution overview. For some of them, it might just be a refresher, but we will sprinkle in some of the new capabilities that we have added and some of the new go-to-market approaches. And then I will come back and explain some of the billing and pricing, just a high level in terms of how it works, and we go from there. Shazad, can you start the solution overview part?
Sure. All right. Thanks, Naman. So let's take a look at this Aviatrix software and how we have built this. So before I go and show you that, let me explain how the business critical applications are deployed in the cloud today. So these business critical applications, they need advanced cloud services and infrastructure. The services provided by the CSPs are basic in nature, and it's not going to work for those business critical applications. And when you look at the application and the stack that needs to support these applications, you have some companies like Datadog providing the workload and performance management. Then you have Snowflakes for data analytics. HashiCorp is in the automation space. We also partner with HashiCorp strongly, and we have complete Terraform support. And then last but not the least is basically the networking and security software. This is where Aviatrix sits in this stack as a leader, providing networking and security for your cloud deployments. And your application could be sitting in any cloud, or if it is connecting even to the hybrid locations, such as your data centers, colos like Equinix, or branch locations, Aviatrix has a solution providing this end-to-end networking and security for business critical applications. Now, if I take you into the actual software space, the software is divided into three parts. So the first is the Aviatrix controller. Okay, so this is the control plane. So it does not deal with the data plane. It's the controller. That's the brain of the solution that you deploy directly from the CSP marketplace. So we are available in all the CSP marketplaces. You just need one highly available controller to manage your entire single cloud, multi-cloud, or even hybrid connectivity requirements. Then we have the Aviatrix Copilot, which is also something gets deployed through the controller, runs as the highly available virtual machine or EC2 instance in your own account. It's not a SaaS product, it's running in your own account. And it's providing you the deeper visibility and the enterprise-grade visualization that you need for those business-critical applications. And then the third piece is the data plane. So this is these Aviatrix smart gateways being deployed by the controller based on your intent. So let's say if you have secure egress or NAT gateway intent or a requirement, the controller will take your intent as a policy and will actually deploy these gateways to build the architecture or build the solution that is needed for your specific need. So for you, everything is managed and controlled by the controller. You don't have to manage these gateways yourself. So in a sense, this controller becomes your SaaS portal or your MSP portal or MSP entry point to manage the entire single cloud, multi-cloud, or hybrid connectivity requirements. So if I put it in perspective and I show you this diagram, this is how it looks like when you actually have the control plane, data plane, and the management plane working together. So on top, you can see the Aviatrix controller. This is where you will deploy or consume the services for this cloud or for your application that you have deployed. And this controller will actually build a hub and spoke architecture for you, right? So let's say if you are in AWS only, the Aviatrix transit gateway will be deployed first in a transit VPC, and then the controller will automatically deploy the spoke VPC, deploy the spoke gateways, and will build the connectivity for you. And this connectivity is highly available. So in the diagram, I'm only showing you one gateways, but these gateways could be two or even more based on, again, your scale requirement. And when they build the connectivity back to the transits, it's the high throughput connectivity with multiple links going back and forth. So you have the highly available and resilient infrastructure built for you. And then this connectivity is also extended to the on-premise locations For example, if you're using Equinix, we have a very strong partnership with Equinix where you can extend this connectivity, extend the cloud operating model to Equinix location or data center locations to provide this networking connectivity for your applications. And then once you have this architecture built here, you can seamlessly copy paste and repeat this architecture in any cloud if needed. So with that approach, what we have done, we have provided this global architecture, providing a unified security, visibility, and control. And what it does for applications, basically it solves these pain points for your enterprise. So we have categorized these pain points into the secure cloud networking, embedded security, and secure cloud edge areas. So you can see there are a number of different pain points that customers are coming to us for, and then we have very comprehensive platform to solve those. For example, high throughput or high performance encryption is a very important and a very simple use case to land, because customers, when they're deploying direct connect or express route, they're purchasing 10 gig circuits, but these circuits are not encrypted by default. And the cloud native service is only providing 1.25 GB. So Aviatrix patented technology is providing the services and solution in this space. And the NAT gateway is another area where we see a lot of customers coming to us to save cost, because the native NAT gateways are not providing them enough capabilities. They are expensive because of the data charges and whatnot. So after we take a look at this, let me quickly show you the gateway itself. So the gateway, like I mentioned, is not just another virtual machine or EC2 instance or a simple virtual router. It has intelligence built into this. So it's providing the intelligent routing. It has the distributed firewall built into this. So it's not only providing layer 4, but also layer 4 security services. You have complete visibility and telemetry coming through these gateways. So everything and anything passing through these gateways, you have deep visibility into it. And unfortunately, this is something you don't see if you are deploying a CSP transit gateway, which is typically a black box. Then we also have capabilities like the load balancing, providing additional security, the threat prevention, anomaly detection, geofencing. A lot of features are being provided these smart gateways. And then when it comes to reducing your mean time to resolution, we have provided you all the tools that you need or you have been using in the on-premise world. For example, ping, traceroute, packet capture, flow analytics, NetFlow, all of it is actually provided through these gateways.
Yeah, Shazad, one thing I want to add, if you go back, people who have been working with Aviatrix, we have always been provider of security as part of our data plane and networking. We have basically enhanced the security even further because we own the data plane, and our vision is about embedded security. That security should not be considered a bolt-on approach. It should be built into the fabric itself. Right? So 60% to 90% security should be done within the network itself. As you can see, we not only have now distributed L4 firewall, but we now have distributed L7 firewall with a single policy that can apply to any workloads in any cloud and all the way back to the on-prem world. So things like IDS, IPS, URL filtering, vulnerability scanning, threat prevention, anomaly detection, all of these innovative features that we are bringing is because of the fact that we own the data plane. We can see the packet, and when you can see the packet, you can apply intelligent policies and you can apply intelligent security techniques to ensure that your most critical applications are actually getting protected closest to the source. So this is the extreme value point for Aviatrix, that embedded security, and you will start to see a lot more messaging around it in the future as well. Go ahead, Shazad.
Okay, so we look at the solution and the software in general, but why exactly we have built this solution? Why these large enterprises, these business critical applications are trusting on Aviatrix? Because in nature, the cloud networking is complex. When you look at it from outside, the CSPs are providing you these route tables and security groups. They're just providing you the basic networking and security. When it comes to actually implementing it with the mission critical applications, let's say SAP S/4HANA, where you have millions of transactions going back and forth, you need the resilient and highly available infrastructure. And this is what Aviatrix advantage is, which is providing this resiliency with embedded security, with agility that you need through automation, through integration with your CI/CD pipeline through Terraform, and also with the cost optimization in mind. Because if you look at the pillars, the design pillars that we propose to our customers, cost is an important factor to it. And this is exactly why our enterprise customers are trusting on Aviatrix platform to get the cost optimization in various ways. For example, I mentioned the utilization of your direct connect. That's the cost optimization right there. Getting deeper into the packet flows with NetFlow data to reduce the time to troubleshoot a problem. This is cost optimization right there and then. Then the NAT gateway, like I mentioned, Aviatrix Enhanced and Advanced NAT gateways are actually providing the advanced NAT capabilities while saving cost for our enterprise customers. So now let's take a look at the opportunity in front of us, and this is very critical and important for our partners to qualify and see where the opportunities are and focus on landing those opportunities as soon as possible. And this is what we have seen over a number of years while working with these thousands of deployments, where we know exactly where the main pain points are and how you guys can take this information or knowledge and implement it in your own account. So I'll start with the cost reduction by replacing a CSP NAT gateway with Aviatrix Secure Egress. So a lot of time customers, when they deploy the NAT gateways, the CSPs are charging them the per hour just to deploy the NAT gateway, even if it is not used. That's one. And then when the data is being processed through these NAT gateways, CSPs are again charging them for that. So with the Aviatrix licensing model, we don't charge for the data processing. So you can see saving right there, right? That's one way of looking at it. The second way of looking at it is providing enhanced security with the Aviatrix NAT gateway, what we call Aviatrix Secure Edge. Because our Secure Edge is not only providing the advanced NAT capabilities, but also providing the threat intelligence, the anomaly detection, the deeper net flow information, catching malicious bad actors out there, right? So it's basically providing all that beside the NAT functionality. So that's one very important land case that you can quickly land your customers on. And the beauty of this use case is that if your customers have already deployed the CSP native services, they don't have to rip anything. They don't need to change any design. It's a non-disruptive model. Just drop an Aviatrix gateway in the VPCs and VNet, and then you will start getting these cost reduction right there. That's number one. The second is the line rate 10 gig encrypted performance for the circuits running inside the cloud or going towards the on-premise location. So we have the patented technology called high performance encryption, which is not only providing the high throughput and high performance inside the cloud, but also if you're connecting to Equinix, for example, right? Because a lot of time customers are telling us that MACsec encryption is not enough because it's not end-to-end. And they need deeper security for the workloads that they're connecting to on-premise, right? And they cannot just live with the 1.25 Gbps IPsec performance. So what we're providing is the solution in that space. So that's another important, and I would say non-disruptive use case, because like I said, if you already have your, let's say, TGW or vWAN deployed in the cloud, you don't need to touch anything. You just drop the Aviatrix Transit Gateway, connect it to your on-prem with this direct connect or express route, and then you just immediately get all these advantages. The third land use case is to improve the MTTR, the mean time to resolution, with a single dashboard. This is a huge challenge for customers in single cloud or multiple clouds, because even if you're in single cloud, there is no centralized control plane. So you're opening number of different tabs to go into different regions and different services, and you're piecemealing everything together. With our platform, what you can do, you can quickly troubleshoot any problem with the ping, trace route, packet capture, deeper packet analytics, net flow data, all the routing protocol and the software-defined protocol and the options that we provide as part of our platform. So you can quickly troubleshoot it as compared to the black boxes that you deal with, where you don't have any visibility, and then it's a shared resource which is being shared by a number of different enterprises. Then we have very seen customers coming to us to provide a simple and unified hybrid cloud connectivity. So what do I mean by that? When you're connecting your branches, your SD-WAN, your Equinix colo locations, a lot of time these customers and partners are in mergers or acquisition scenarios where they're dealing with the overlapping IP. Now, the cloud does not provide you an elegant solution to solve that. So we have the solution to provide overlapping IP support for those type of customers. And last but not the least is, like I said, mission critical applications. I'm giving you example SAP HANA here, but it could be any mission critical application that needs the security, that needs the uptime, that needs the resiliency. And this is exactly what Aviatrix platform is providing to the customers. So with that, I'm going to take you into the Copilot, which is our software that provides this deeper visibility and analytics to our customers. So the first thing is about the threat detection. So anytime when you deploy the Aviatrix solution and the Aviatrix gateway is there, the threat detection and threat prevention is part of it. It's very important because if you look at guard duty and those type of services, they can only detect the threat for you, but they will not prevent it. So with the policy mechanism, you're not only detecting the threat, but you're also protecting it. And it's part of the same licensing model. So there is a cost saving right there and then. You don't have to invest into a number of different security services, which could be centralized. This is distributed as part of your deployment. Then the topology view is actually providing you the insights into how your resources and assets are connected in your network. And a lot of time you get this, you don't get that because in the CSP world, it's just one console, it's all text-based. You don't get the visualization how these things are connected. In a single cloud, maybe you can, but if you're talking about hybrid connectivity and connecting to multiple clouds, obviously CSP cannot give you that because CSP will just contain to their own domain. They cannot extend their reach. So we are providing you this topology view, but not only providing you, but giving you all the tools directly from the UI. So you can click on the Aviatrix gateway, for example, and you have all the troubleshooting options, the session flows, the packets per second, and packet drop or whatnot right there and on the screen. Flow analytics is about getting deeper into your flows, how they're connecting to your applications. Are there top talkers that you can look into? Are there flows that are unknown to you that could create a potential security threat? So you can actually go deeper into flow analytics. Anything and everything that you do basically is audited through the platform. So if someone by mistake changed some security group or a route table, you will get notified. There are alert mechanism available through email or webhook. So you have deeper analytics, audit, and reporting capabilities. Troubleshooting, we made this extremely simple. So it's all about picking up a source and destination virtual machine and say, show me how these two virtual machines or EC2 instances are connected. Or it could be an on-premise location. And then we'll cut all the noise for you. We'll just show you your view that you need to see for this communication or for this flow and everything in between, right? So you will see the performance, you will see the security groups, you will see the route table. And then at the end, we will pinpoint the issue for you saying, you know what, this is where you have a security group missing or a knuckle missing, and you need to look into this. Then we have provided the SAP dashboard for our customers because we have a great partnership with SAP. We have deeper visibility into the SAP workload, so you can look at the latency, the security, and other information related to the SAP transactions happening in your network. Going more into the billing visibility here, you can see the Aviatrix bill obviously directly from the dashboard, but also you can do a lot more cost optimization because when customers are deploying the shared resources, and it's a really big problem, is that how do I charge back or show back to my line of businesses? I don't have visibility into how much is being used. Can you please give me that? So with the cost IQ module that we have as part of the Copilot, now you can quickly create your line of businesses, your cost centers, and you can quickly show them and build them according to their usage of the resources in the cloud. Over to you, Naman.
Yeah, one thing I want to add to Shahzad's a couple of slides back, he talked about the SAP and cost, right? So one of the great things that Aviatrix is working on is not just about looking at the packet on the wire and the networking and security from your VPC, to your users or to your other cloud or to your branches or to your data center, but it's also about deep analytics of your application itself. So, using the concept of smart tags, you're not now able to identify an application. Like for instance, SAP S4 HANA is one of the major applications. You could have other crown jewel applications that may be running in your cloud, and those are the crown jewel applications that you want to make sure that any deviation from in normal operating conditions, you need to get alerted and you need to take actions as soon as possible. In fact, in some cases, before it becomes a problem. That smart analytics, that proactive analytics is part of the platform where we're able to track down the a specific application like S4 HANA, whether it's in AWS, whether it's in Azure or GCP, doesn't matter. You may have S4 HANA talking to Concur, Ariba, could be some databases, could be in on-prem, could be in another cloud. You're able to now figure out the latency, you're able to figure out the performance KPIs for those particular applications. Like in this case, you're seeing the specific paths that that application takes, and how can you very quickly figure out what could be possible causes of low latency or low performance, and then be able to then work with the application team, right? So that finger pointing between application networking goes away, because now you're all looking at exactly the performance and the latencies and the KPIs of those applications, and figuring out whether the issue is in the application layer or the issue is in the networking layer. And all of that is possible because you have the end-to-end control of the path from the application all the way down to the user and to the destination endpoint, whether it's in on-prem or whether it's in the cloud. So very key part that, and we will continue to advance that both from a performance and security perspective in the future.
Yeah, when I see two
Uh,
questions on the chat, I can take that if you want. So the
yeah, I
first
think
question
Gary may
is,
have answered it, but if it's not, then you can answer it here.
okay. Yeah, so the question is about, is security services coming from any of your partners or is it native to Aviatrix? So like we mentioned, the security is embedded into our data plane. So all the layer 4 services, layer 7 services, threat detection, anomaly detection, geofencing, all those features are actually part of the Aviatrix data plane. So you don't need any third-party services. But just if you are using, let's say, next generation firewall in your on-premise, and if you want to move it into the cloud, for example, so we can actually support that. We have the design patterns to support that. In fact, Palo Alto Checkpoint and Fortinet, these are actually part of our controller. So you can actually deploy these solutions directly through our controller. You can insert them as part of your flows with the policy model that we have. So you can actually increase and enhance the security posture for your applications by providing these or inserting these firewalls into your network. Yeah, and then anything else that you would like to connect to the Aviatrix software is also possible. For example, I have seen customers using Prisma Access or Zscaler and connecting it to Aviatrix topology and networks. So that's also a possibility. And then there is a question about what are the features and protocols comprised in the intelligent routing. So yeah, so Aviatrix provides the dynamic routing capabilities inside the cloud and also connecting to the on-premise locations. So when we connect to on-premise, we talk through BGP, advanced BGP, and the services and features provided by the BGP to on-premise locations, such as Equinix, data center, SD-WAN, branches, you name it, right? And within the cloud, we also provide the dynamic routing with the cloud-defined routing technique that we use as part of the controller. Okay, Numan, I think we can move on
Yeah,
to your section.
yeah, you can. I think people can continue to watch the questions on the chat and they can answer it. So yeah, so I want to spend some time explain how the Aviatrix billing and pricing works. We have a very simple pricing model, and we have further simplified it with the concept of network connections, because people who are coming from the networking world, they understand that you charge for the type of a connection, whether it's a DS3, whether it's a MPLS connection, whether it's a 10 gig connection, 1 gig connection, 500 gig switch port, 2 gig switch port. So every uh, type of a connection have a different price, and where they sit in the network layer, whether it's a core switch port, whether a distribution switch port, access switch port, they all price differently. So that's what the concept of Aviatrix is. The Aviatrix charge for cloud network connections that are managed by Aviatrix software platform, right? And it's pay as you go, pay per consumption. So as long as you have that connection up and running, you're paying for it. When that connection is not running, you're not paying for it. We do not charge for any controller, gateway. We do not charge for any co-pilots. So all these are all virtual machines and EC2 instances. Yes, the charge go to the CSP cloud provider for the compute instance, but from our side, there is no charge. So aside from cloud network connection, we may charge for premium features on the platform. For example, if we give a cost analytics, or if somebody or customer wants a intelligent cost analytics, because that's not a connection, it's a platform-wide feature that applies to everything that's in the system. We may charge for a cost analytics, maybe like 5%, 10% of the overall MRR. But in general, we charge for cloud network connection and management. Now, when we say cloud network connection, what's included in that connection is not just point A to point B connectivity. That okay, I have a VPC in AWS, I have a VPC in or VNet in Azure. You connected, and my packet is going from point A to point B. There is a much more to that. So it will include your full 24/7 Platinum support, all the advanced networking and security features around traffic engineering, around quality of service, all there in that connection. Unified automation and orchestration. Every connection is fully encrypted with IPsec, right? All the co-pilot capabilities that Shazad was showing earlier in terms of your threat and anomaly and monitoring and flow, all of that. We don't charge any extra for that flow collection. And obviously, when customer or buys your customer buys the Aviatrix software, we also provide them training credits for the basic training for cloud, professional architect level training, operations training, and we do the same thing for the partners as well. Now let's look at what what actually is mean by connection, right? So picture explains this really well. So let's say if you have one VPC here and one VPC here, they are trying to connect to a transit. This is basically this box defines a transit. So your VPC 1 is connected to the transit in one region. Your VPC 2 is connected to another transit in another region, right? So this is cloud 2, this is cloud 1. So the connection between a VPC and a transit is one connection that Aviatrix is managing. Similarly, if you have a data center or you have a Equinix presence and you are trying to connect your cloud backbone or cloud transit to that data center fully 10 gig encrypted, we call this a high performance cloud network connection. Right? Similarly, if you have a cloud 1 and a cloud 2, we are connecting them with standard 5 gig connection. That's a type of a connection. Right? In this VPC, I see that there is a standard connection because let's say I show it with a thin line here. It's a more thicker line. That's a high performance connection. This is a standard connection. So if you can see that there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 connections here, and then you just charge based on the type of a connection on an hourly basis. So that basically builds up your monthly recurring revenue or MRR or ARR based on that. So depending on the topology of a customer may have 5 VPCs, 10 VPCs connected to a transit in a region, connected to a data center. You will say, okay, that's how customers' monthly recurring revenue would be. In cases where we are managing a firewall, like I think there was a question from Rajesh that if you're managing a checkpoint or a Palo Alto, that's considered as a connection. It could be our own smart gateways that are acting as a firewall. So you will add that one connection to the overall topology for your customer. As I mentioned, no Aviatrix charge for the gateways, controller, copilot, and customer would pay the compute cost to the cloud provider. Now, sometimes customers ask that, or partners ask that, okay, do these two gateways in each VPC because they are all active, would it be too much of a cost? So the answer is that if you look at a generic VPC or general VPC, normally there is about 200 instances running for applications that customers are leveraging. So this two gateways are almost like a 1%, 2% of the overall cost of your application footprint. So it's peanuts in terms of the overall cloud, the bill that the customer gets, but the value that you get in terms of additional level of security, additional level of visibility, additional level of networking is just basically way high over the value, the cost that it's being charged for. All right, so next, let me give you some examples, right? So let's say there is a sample package, example one. Let's say you have a customer who just want 10 secure egress firewall gateways, right, from Aviatrix to reduce their NAT cost, because once you do that, it automatically takes care of NAT. You don't have to pay for data processing. So you do that, you have 10 of these, one of them costs 23 cents per hour. So your overall monthly spend is just $1,600 or 20,000 ARR. It's a very simple example just to understand how the pricing works. Sample package two, let's say if you have single cloud, single region, 25 VPCs, managing two firewalls and one data center, right? Or it could be a colo Equinix location, it could be the actual data center. So you have 25 of these connections. They're all active, fully redundant, 30.345 cents per hour. You have two firewall connections. You also have a site to cloud connection or a connection to a branch. Let's say you may have a retail branch that you're trying to connect to your cloud, because some applications might be trying to feed data to the application running in this VPC, and then you have a data center connection. So you will just count the number of connections, and that you know the exact unit price per connection, and your monthly bill is 9,000, your annual bill is 109,000. So very simple and easy to understand. Once you know what the customer is trying to do, you will just add the type of a connection based on the unit price, and this is all list price that I'm showing here as an example. All right, another example is about building the cloud backbone. This is also one of the common use case that we see from customers who are moving from the data center to the cloud. The first step they want to do is to build a backbone so that their on-prem can connect to it, and then slowly their application will start and connect both as a native option or through our Aviatrix smart gateways as well. So in this particular case, you can see that we have about three high performance connections. This bold red lines are high performance. So you have a high performance connection between Equinix facility connecting your data center to the cloud in AWS. This is AWS cloud. You have a high performance connection between AWS region 1 and AWS region 2. You have also have a high performance connection between your data center and your Azure cloud. So you have three high performance connections. You have a multi-cloud connection between the two clouds. This is basically a generic multi-cloud connection. You have two of them, and then so this is one and this is two, and then you have a native transit connection, which are three of them, because you are connecting your backbone to the native CSP options, which could be a AWS transit gateway in AWS, or it could be a VWAN or native route service within Azure, right? So at the end of the day, so you will be able to calculate your bill by saying, okay, three encrypted connections, two regular connections, and three native connections, and that's how your bill would be around 6,854 monthly. So very simple to understand licensing. Again, all the EC2 cost or virtual machine cost, it goes to the CSP and not to Aviatrix. All right. So any questions, Shehzad, on the or Brad on this on the chat for in terms of pricing?
Yeah, so Ijaz was asking if this pricing for partners only.
Oh no, this prices is just this price is just for, list price. It's not for partners. So for partners, we can work directly, because partners obviously get a discount, overall discount. So that's just basically an example, a list price to show on how the pricing model works.
Yeah, and then one more question from Jason is about, in a default deployment, are there data transfer charges we are getting around
That's a very good
that?
question. So,
Yeah,
Jason, the data transfer for Aviatrix, we don't charge for data transfer, but CSP will charge for the egress data transfer. So, like AWS will charge for a data transfer. We will not charge for it. NAT gateway, they also charge for data processing that's passing through the NAT gateway itself. We also do not charge, our secure egress do not charge for data processing. That's why we are able to save significant amount of cost savings for a customer. I think one of the customers that we are working with, they're able to realize about 5 to 6 millions per year saving just on the NAT itself, right? So obviously it also depends on the how much data throughput or data processing is being done by the net gateways. But you can see, just because we don't charge for data transfer, our solution can be much more cost effective. And one of the reasons why we do that is because Aviatrix believes in predictability of cost and predictability of outcome. And sometimes it's very difficult to predict your cost if you charge for data transfer. So we try to minimize as much as possible. Um, yeah, so that's basically is our philosophy. Any other questions, Shilan?
No, that's it.
Okay, so there are some resources for our partners, and this is basically our first, I would say, webinar. We have restarted this after a while. We want to do this more often, and we are going to drill down on specific topics. Like, for example, Edge is something that we are releasing, where you will be able to extend your same cloud operating model, same routing plane, same management plane, all the way down to the branches. We want to go and deep dive on edges, on how does that work. Similarly, embedded security and cloud firewalling. We're going to have another session for partners alone, on how does it work and how can you actually make the security posture more cost effective, as well as more manageable, right? When you have a centralized management plane and security plane and policy managing the security across all of your footprint, it just makes life easier. So we'll cover those as features, and it's a way for us to give you more up-to-date advanced information as quickly as possible. But these are some resources. Shazad, do you want to cover this?
Yeah. So basically, what we have a special a place for our partners on partners.aviatrix.com. This is where you can go and look at the deregistration link, or if you are new partner and trying to partnership with us, there is a link for that also. So you can submit your request. For any questions, you can send emails to partners@aviatrix.com. So we constantly monitor it. There is a team monitoring it. So we'll make sure we'll get back to you. On the community portal itself, if you go to this community.aviatrix.com and then this partner portal, you will see we have resources specifically created for partners. So partner onboarding is an important step. We want to make sure you are successful. So see the resources, the videos, the trainings that you need to take in order to become a successful partners. The deregistration page is also here on the partners.aviatrix.com. We're also providing you a direct link that you can scan here. And last but not the least is the training. Extremely important for partners to go through our training. We have a special code and special discounts for partners. So I would encourage your team and your team members to come and take those trainings through Aviatrix training program. And you can see we have different tracks, number of different tracks to make sure that your teams are properly, educated and trained. The course starts from the associate course. It's for everyone. It's even for your sellers and also for your technical and non-technical audience there. But then it goes into more technical pieces with the ACE cloud operations, is cloud professional, the courses for SAP, course for Equinix, and course for Edge. There are a number of different courses that we have published for our customers. And with that, I would like to thank all of you to join us today. Stay tuned. We will have more partner-specific sessions coming to your way.
Shazad, there's a question from Jeff about recertification of ACE Pro. Is there a renewal process, or does it need to sit the whole? Okay.
Yeah. So the renewal process is basically you need to sit into this training again if you have taken it 3 years ago, because what we had 3 years ago is completely changed in terms of our training, in terms of our platform, the solution, and also the industry, because cloud is a fast-moving industry. So our recertification policy is that you need to take the ACE Professional or ACE Cloud Operations or ACE Associate again.
Yeah, so there will not be any, I would say, testing, right? Just attend the course, I guess.
Exactly. No test required. Just attend the course, go through the video module for ACE Associate. That's it. For ACE Professional, same thing. You just sit in the class, you take the course, you complete the labs, and that will qualify you for recertification.
Yeah, and then we also are actively doing our ACE Design Expert. That's an in-person I would say, calibration of employee of partners skills. We just did one in Seattle last week, and I think it went really well. So that's basically is if you are actively working with cloud and actively working with Aviatrix, uh, you can submit a design and you have to defend the design in front of a panel. That's basically a highest level of cloud certification anywhere today, where you're able to prove your consulting, architecture, and design skills in front of a board. But then that's basically is give will give you a lot of confidence in terms of your customers. We only have about 20 of them. It will grow. It will not probably grow as fast as the other certifications that are designed, but then it will make you part of a very accomplished community of experts, including customers, that they can share and brainstorm some of the most creative design ideas you can ever come across in the cloud. So that's something that I would highly encourage for you to pursue. We do these in USA, in all the regions, as well as in Europe. So if you have interest, register that early on, so that you're able to make one of those sessions, which are invitation only. But as you register the interest, you will be able to get in.
Great.
That's pretty much it. We will thank you for all for joining. We really appreciate all the partnership and your eagerness to learn and help out your customers. It's very exciting to talk to new partners from different parts of the world. We are here to support you, and we want to make sure we build a long-lasting partnership. And as long as we are all aligned to the Aviatrix vision, we will have a very long-lasting partnership for the next 30 years. So uh, great to see you all here, and we will continue to have these sessions every 2 weeks or within a month. As soon as we have things to share, we will basically even schedule an ad hoc session, and we can go from there. In the meantime, if you get any customer opportunities, when you talk to customers, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to partners at aviatrix.com or reach out to us directly. You can connect us on LinkedIn, and we can directly get back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.